everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leandra the TBR Zero, and my goal is to lessen my physical TBR one book at a time. Today we're going to find out what my March TBR is going to be, but that means we have to watch someone else's TBR game to decide for me. If you're new here, this is a really new series that I'm getting into in 2024, in which I watch another booktuber's TBR game, promoting them, getting excited for their own game, and then taking their prompts as my own. So this booktuber doesn't know that I'm participating with them and that we're going to have to be completing the same prompts in the same month. The entire goal for this series is to promote other booktubers, letting you know what TBR games are out there and really just celebrate the fact that we have so many creative minds here in the book community. So what I'm going to do is I am going to watch this person's video. I will make sure to kind of sparse the clips to ensure that I'm not taking away all of their creativity and preventing you from having any reason to go watch them and go support them. You're basically going to know what prompts I have to participate in, and then after that I'll show you my own TBR and how I interpreted these prompts to fit my own reading style. Then your goal is to go support that other booktuber. I will make sure to have their TBR game video linked below so you can go support them, go let them know how you found them, why you're there, and also this is a bit of a special booktuber because their TBR game for this month is linked to an entire readathon that they're hosting. You might just want to participate and go subscribe to this person because they have a lot planned for this month and it's just going to be so much fun. But who am I talking about? Well, to recap, last month I ended up participating in Kerplunk from Four Paws in a Book, and that was super fun, but I think I'm gonna switch things up and participate in a very different type of game, and it's called Roll of Reads. Do you know who I'm talking about? The booktuber I'm highlighting this month is a book fiend named Mel. She's a really lovely person. I've only met her in the last year, but I am already in love with her content. She's super kind, she's super thoughtful, she hosts reading sprints, she participates in the community in other ways, like doing promotional videos. She did this really thoughtful and thorough video on her new favorite booktubers that I really appreciated. She also is hosting a read-along with a bunch of other booktubers for The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they read one book per month to get through the entire series, and I've been meaning to participate in it, but oh my goodness, January and February have been kind of chaotic for me, so my intention is to catch up so I can at least participate in a couple of the live shows depending on when they happen. But just so you know, Mel is super active and has so many things, on top of the fact that this March is her birthday month, so she is hosting an entire readathon dedicated to her TBR game. So what better month for me to participate with her than her birthday month? So that's who we're going to be watching today, and I'm really looking forward to it. So cross your fingers for me. We're gonna see what happens, and hopefully Mel is kind to herself and also kind to me. Okay, I'm gonna press play. Wish me luck.
Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for my Roll of Reads Readathon TBR.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so exciting. I can't wait.
So, coming up in March, I am running a readathon based on my TBR game Roll of Reads. The idea is that you join me in playing the game. I have created a whole new lot of prompts for this round. All of the information that you will need is in the announcement video, which I have linked for you in the description below. So the first thing is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy read-along. So in March, we are reading Life, the Universe, and Everything.
I told you they were doing this.
That I am hosting along with some other incredible booktubers. So that is Ren from the Reading Ren, Kelsea from Chelsea Zhao, Ash from Ash's Adventures in Books, and Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction. We are all running this Hitchhiker's read-along, and we started in January with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and then now we're up to the Life, the Universe, and Everything. There's a Discord for that as well. I will link that and the announcement video for the Hitchhiker's read-along in the description below. So I will need to read the Life, the Universe, and Everything at some point in March. I'll try and get it on the TBR.
I might need to join that Discord. I don't think I'm a part of it.
So the first thing I need to do for Roll of Reads is I need to set up the board, and then I need to roll my d8 to decide how many rolls of the d20 I have to do, and then yeah, we'll just keep going with that. We'll just see how we go, basically. All right, so
The board.
I will shuffle the cards. I have shuffled these already, but I'll give them another shuffle as well.
Oh my gosh, this is nerve-wracking. Also, she's playing some really cool music right now, but I am so terrified of copyright these days that I will not showcase it. So you're just gonna hear me talk in silence as we watch her set up the board. It's pretty cool though. I like that it's inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if I'm gonna show that part of the like instructions to you, but she does roll with like a d20 and things like that, and I find that very fun. It's creative.
All right. And we'll roll the d8.
Oh, d8? Oh.
6. Okay. We are rolling.
Okay. So d8 for how many books she's going to try to read in a month. So we got 6.
My replacement cards here, my rewards, and my punishments there. Okay, so just a quick recap of how we play the game. So we have the board, which you've seen because I've set everything up. We have numbers 1 through 20 on the grid. Because this is loosely based on Dungeons and Dragons, I have to roll a d20. Whatever number I roll, I then pick up the card and there's a prompt on that card, and then I have to do that prompt to determine what book I'm going to read for that prompt. If I roll a 1, because in D&D, if you roll a 1, then that's not very good. Then I have to have a punishment card, so I'll need to pick up a punishment card and do whatever it says on the punishment card.
I don't want a punishment card.
If I roll a 20, then that is an excellent roll in D&D. It doubles your damage, it does all sorts of amazing things. So if that happens, I get to pick up a reward card and do whatever it is on the reward card. I do want a reward. Roll number 1 is a 12. A pretty cover. Okay.
Okay, pretty cover is super easy. I will say that it can make it difficult though because it's so subjective and I always overthink it, which I don't need to do. With that said, even though it's the first roll, I might save it to the end because I have a few priority reads that I really need to get done first. See if they fulfill any of the more niche specific prompts, whatever we end up getting. I'm assuming that some of Mel's prompts are at least not as easy as this one, so I might save it to the end to decide which book I end up deciding is like my pretty cover, because let's be honest, most books have very pretty covers. So okay, cool, we can work with this. Ooh, the book that Mel chose for this one is indeed very pretty, and it's also one that a lot of people have been talking about lately, so I'll be intrigued to see what she actually thinks about it. You should probably go see her video.
Let's go ahead and do roll number 2.
Roll number 2.
A 20. A reward.
This is very exciting.
All right. Pick up the prompt, replace it, and pick up the reward. Okay, so as you just saw, I got the 20. So that means that I get a reward. So I'm going to look at both cards and we'll see what we decide. Okay. So first of all, the prompt on the number 20 was trans non-binary rep. Replace any prompt with a mood read. So this is my reward.
Okay, that's really interesting. I know exactly what book I'm going to be choosing for a trans non-binary rep. Like immediately there's one that I already plan on reading in March. So this is really easy for me. I think I'm getting too excited. We got to calm down. There's a lot more rolls to get through, but good to know that I could switch anything out with a mood read. I'll have to make sure I don't forget that.
Roll number 3. An 11.
Okay.
Set somewhere you've been. All right.
Set somewhere I've been. That actually provides me a lot of options too. Not really in the US, because I'm not going to lie. Most of my travels have been like out of country for various reasons, but okay, I can work with this. That's cool. That would be a hard prompt for some people who just haven't really traveled. But I have been very fortunate in my life to have traveled to a few other different countries at least. I'm imagining that I'll be allowed to at least just be like country-wise, not being like specific cities or specific regions. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna allow myself some broadness. Like I won't be like, oh, set in Europe and then that. I'll make sure it's country focused. I think that's my immediate thought, but who knows? Maybe I could get a bit more specific depending on what book I choose. So, okay. This is a cool prompt.
Okay, roll number 4 is a 10. Pet pick.
Pet
all right,
pick.
All right. We might do that at the end.
A pet pick? I don't have any pets. I'm imagining that that's what Mel's gonna do. Is she probably is gonna have like her cat. Oh, what's her cat's name? Oh, I can't remember it. It's so adorable though. Pistachio, I think. If I'm wrong, I'll make sure to have the cat's actual name somewhere on the screen, but I'm pretty sure her cat's name is Pistachio. Oh, that's such a cute idea. Okay, I'm gonna have to get creative with this one. Or I suppose I could do the mood read switch, like out of necessity, but we'll see. I don't want to jump the gun and then have a much harder prompt later on where I could just be like lenient on myself. So, okay.
Okay, roll number 5
left.
is a 12. Oh, I forgot to replace that card.
Okay.
That is our second 12. So hopefully we don't get a third 12. All right, so we got book battle for our 5th roll. So let's see.
Okay, so I did end up watching a little bit further so that I understood what book battle is, because I don't want to spoil anything for Mel's video. So you will want to 100% go see what her book battle involves and like which book ends up winning, because it's super fun. But basically what she does is she chooses 2 books that she wants to read soon or that she's really interested in reading, but for whatever reason she doesn't want to read both in this month, and then she ends up rolling a d20 and says, okay, roll 1 goes with book 1, roll 2 goes with book 2, and just sees which roll gets the higher number, and then that's the book that she has to read that month. So I'll be sure to do the same. Okay, stay tuned for that, I suppose. It might not be on screen now that I think about it. I might just do it and then let you know what I get, but yeah.
Roll number 6, last roll. 16. Awesome.
16. Nice.
Favorite genre. Okay, so I got favorite genre. I like a lot of different genres, so I feel like this is...
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, cool. We could totally work with this. Wow. I feel like I always enter these... Always. This is my second time doing this, but I feel like I enter this very nervous and I'm not sure what's going to happen, but yeah, this has worked out really well. Obviously a favorite genre is end up going to be a mystery. I just don't know which mystery I'm going to choose. So, all right, the six books, 6 rolls. Let's see what ends up being my TBR. But first, let's make sure we say goodbye to Mel.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.
Bye, Mel. Thanks for the fun. All right, I guess I gotta go choose my TBR now. I'll be back soon. Bye. After an indeterminate amount of time of searching my shelves and organizing my plans, we are back and I have my March TBR. Before we get into it though, this is yet another reminder to please go check out a book fiend named Mel. She's a lovely person, as you can tell. She's put so much work into her readathon. So if you can, just go support her, go subscribe, and check out her other content. I promise you will not regret it. I also have my 6 reads, my 6 picks based on her prompts, but I also have a bit of housekeeping that I need to address, because while I didn't get any punishments, I'm kind of punishing myself by putting a few books on my TBR that I did have in February that I wanted to get to. I never did, just because of random circumstances. I will say it's probably because of the nature of a competitive readathon like Battle of the Girl Bands. You have to prioritize short reads, but also immersive reading, audiobooks. So I just kept leaning on the fact that if I didn't have the audiobook available, I probably wasn't going to read it. And so that's why these 2 books are going to be on my March TBR. That includes A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. I did end up getting the audiobook in the last couple days, but I want to take my time with it too. That's the other thing about competitive readathons, is you can't be picking up books that you want to take a couple weeks to read, and that's what I want to do with this one. I just want to immerse myself as he's traveling the Appalachian Trail. So yeah, I need to take my time with it. I'm really excited about it. So this is on my March TBR. I promise I'm going to read it. Another book that was voted on by my subscribers, including A Walk in the Woods, is 3 Sisters Flew Home. I really wanted to read this, but because it's a golden age detective fiction novel by a lesser known author, the audiobook just is almost non-existent. I'm sure it exists, but I have to spend money on it, and I already bought the book, so it doesn't make sense to me in my mind to buy the audio on top of that. So I will read it in March. It's just that, again, I had to prioritize audiobook reads, and this just didn't have one available, so I am looking forward to it though. And then finally, I will be catching up on 1984 by George Orwell. This was meant to be a kind of bonus book for the B&K Book Club, hosted by Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Kelsea from Reads with Kelsea. Neither Kelsea nor I ended up getting to this, and so we both said, you know what, we're just gonna keep the forum open, we meaning Kelsea, and so she and I, and probably a few others, are gonna catch up with it and just make it an extended book club read. So if you read it in February, that's awesome, good for you. I am reading it in March. And then this next book doesn't actually fit any of the prompts for Roll of Reads, nor is it something that I'm catching up on, but it's a book that my mom gave me to borrow because she really loves the series. We read book 1 together, and I did enjoy it. I had a few issues depending on some of the depictions, but I do want to continue with it so that I can enjoy a book with her, and that is the Beetle Nut Tree Mystery by Ovidia Yu. This is the second book in the Ovidia Yu mystery series. It is a historical fiction mystery series that is set in Singapore, I believe in the 1920s. We have a young woman sleuth, and I did just kind of enjoy the atmosphere of the first book, so I do want to get to it because my mom lent it to me, and she has the entire series, and actually she's caught up at this point. She's read all of the books, and I still need to read book 2, so I do want to see if I can get to it in March, but this is more of a hopeful, if anything. A second book that's a hopeful, and I should have grabbed it, but I didn't, and that is A Pricking of My Thumbs. This is a Tommy and Tuppence novel by Agatha Christie, and that's a book that my father read quite long ago at this point, and I've been meaning to read it, but I haven't gotten to it, and I really love Tommy and Tuppence, at least their younger books, The Secret Adversary and what's the other one? Partners in Crime. Those are when they're very young, and I know that Pricking of My Thumbs is when they're older, potentially in 40s, 50s, so it might be a very different vibe, but I do want to read it so I can talk to them about it. So I guess unintentionally, I'm kind of hoping to read 2 books from my parents that they have been wanting me to read. So yeah, those are both hopefuls. We'll see if I can get to them. I recognize that I've already talked about 5 books. 2 of them are hopefuls though, so I might not get to them. That's okay. But the ones that I am determined to complete are for the prompts for Mel. So the first prompt that I received was a pretty cover, and the one I landed on is These Names Make Clues by E.C.R. Lorac. This is a biblio-mystery, very puzzle-oriented, and I'm really looking forward to it. It says, amidst the confusion of too many fake names, clues, ciphers, and convoluted alibis, Chief Inspector MacDonald and his allies in the CID must unravel a truly tangled case in this metafictional masterpiece, which returns to print for the first time since its publication in 1937. This edition includes an introduction by CWA Diamond Dagger and Edgar Award-winning author Martin Edwards. Should detectives go to parties? Was it consistent with the dignity of the yard? The inspector tossed for it and went. Oh, it sounds very fun. It's very puzzle oriented. I'm looking forward to it. The reason why I have to read it anyway is because it is part of the She Done It book club for our Biblio Mystery Month. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have a good time. And then I am in love with these British library crime classic covers. Maybe not everyone thinks they're pretty, but I think they're gorgeous. The second roll gave us a trans/non-binary representation prompt, and I'm 99% sure that this book is gonna fit. If not, I will try to read something else. But The Blighted Stars by Megan E. O'Keefe. The reason why I'm pretty sure about this is because around this time when I heard about it, Danni from Danni Dabbles was reading it, and we got into a discussion about characters that are trans, and I think it's because I was talking about The Affair of The Mysterious Letter by Alexis Hall. That was one of my favorite books in 2023, and I feel very confident that there is a trans character in that book. And so then we were discussing the idea of representation, and we were talking about this. So I'm pretty sure that this character, one of the characters in here, may or may not be trans. I'm not sure, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a buddy read/read along with Laura from the Book Hermit and a bunch of other people. It's on Storygraph, and I think we're going to have a great time. I've never done a buddy read on Storygraph before, so this will be a new medium for me. I usually use Voxer, or I have kind of used Discord, but I don't find it super accessible for me. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. The little blurb on the cover says, addictive space adventure full of intrigue, visceral danger, and deeply personal stakes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too. Now the third roll was for a setting that I've been before, and this one isn't a book that I own, but it is a NetGalley arc, and the book is coming out quite soon. It's already out in the UK, but it's not out in the US yet, and that's why I have it as a NetGalley arc, and that is Death and Fromage. I read Death and Croissants last year, and I just had such a ball. I actually listened to the audiobook because it technically is already out from the UK, or it was. I had access to it through Hoopla, and I already have access to the audiobook through Hoopla again for this book, even though, again, Death and Fromage isn't out in the US yet. I love you, Hoopla. Thanks for existing. And it's actually really fascinating because the author himself reads it aloud, and he's a comedian, apparently. I don't really know much more about him, but I really liked his voice. I liked how he added a certain texture and knew how to deliver the lines he wanted to in the first book. So I'll probably do an audiobook again for this. And yeah, I find it very like comforting. It's not cozy. I feel like a lot of times we mistake British modern mysteries as cozy just because they're British, but it is comforting. It's like very much leaning on humor and some of the kind of golden age tropes that we find comforting today. The fourth roll, if I have the order correctly, was Pet Pick. I don't have a pet, unfortunately. I wish I could. I wish I could have all the pets. So I didn't have a cat to choose my books for me. Instead, though, I decided to lean on that, knowing that Mel has a cat. And so I chose a book that has a cat main character, or a prominent cat in the book itself. And so we have The Cat Saw Murder by Dolores Hitchens. This is a golden age mystery from the American variety. And I've never read anything by Dolores Hitchens. I do own another book by her. She's actually coined as one of the primary author who started this whole like pet cozy mystery craze, like the cat mystery, the pet mystery. And that's because of this series that all of them involve cats. All of the titles involve some type of cat in it. And yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this, especially because nowadays, especially in the cozy mystery section, every single amateur sleuth has a pet cat or a pet dog or something to that effect. So yeah, like I want to see where it all began. Prompt number 5 was actually a book battle, and I said that I was gonna probably like roll some die for it and see what I get, just like Mel did. But Nell also did get a mood reading bonus, like a reward, and she never used it because she forgot, it seems. Whereas I'm like, I'm not forgetting. I'm gonna make sure to use that thing. I didn't end up doing a book battle. I decided to replace it with a buddy read that I'm definitely doing, that I'm very excited for, that I'm 100% in the mood for, and that is The Tainted Cup. So this is apparently by Robert Jackson Bennett. I've never read anything by him before, but I'm reading it with Danni over at Danni Dabbles. It's one of her most anticipated reads of the year, and I can't wait. It's also a very beautiful cover. I want to get more into fantasy. This is apparently fantasy mystery, and one of my favorite things lately has been mystery genre blends, where it's like a mystery with sci-fi, mystery with space opera, mystery with fantasy. So I think it's going to be right up my alley. It's also a Holmes-Watson style retelling of some sort, or at least like the detective duo is reminiscent of them. So I think it's gonna be really fun, and yeah, I'm 100% in the mood for that. The last prompt that Mel granted us was actually the best one because it gave me all of the rain in the world, and it was favorite genre. So I am grabbing a book that was a part of my kind of hopefuls for February that I didn't get to, but not because I didn't want to. It's actually because I have a buddy read planned now, and that's The Spare Man. So this one is a space opera mystery. I just mentioned that I love mystery genre blends, so of course I had to add another one to my list, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Danni and I think about it. I just don't know what to expect. I think I need to keep my expectations in check because the cover alone, the description, the fact that it's an alternate history, and you can tell that it's a bit of a almost like golden age era, maybe like 30s 40s style, but set in space, like on like a space liner. I think it's like a cruise ship. I really want to like it. I really do, and I'm really nervous about it, but I really hope that it ends up being like a brand new top favorite for me because it has all of the qualities, all of the elements, so you'd think I would like it, right? I hope. I know I have already mentioned 11 books, 9 of them being certain on my TBR, 2 of them being hopefuls. Sorry, parents. But I also have 3 other books that I have to talk about because I'm definitely going to be reading them in March for my Meet the Booktuber series. I don't think I mentioned this in my most recent episode for that, which was featuring Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading in honor of her birthday month. And I want to make sure that you all know and can get excited for it. So my 3rd Meet the Booktuber is going to be Lauren from Happy Haunts Library. She is a big horror reader and watcher, and I can't wait to delve into her mind, into her world of horror. So she's recommended me 3 horror books, all of kind of different themes and different areas of horror as far as like atmosphere and that kind of like tension, I suppose. But I'm really interested to get to know her through them. So we have Monstrilio, Carmilla, and Goddess of Filth. So those are going to be the 3 books I read for her vlog, and yeah, that's definitely going to happen by the end of March. At the moment, that means that I have 14 books, but 2 of them are hopefuls. Again, I am so sorry to my parents. I promise I recognize that I'm very fortunate that I have parents who read and recommend books to me, but they might have to be pushed to April. We're gonna see how it goes. But beyond that, I have a very eclectic list of books, various genres, various authors that are gonna be new to me. I think most of them, which is not obscure for me, are going to be new to me, which is really exciting. A lot of buddy reads, read-alongs planned, and it's going to be a great month, and that's the goal here, right? So your homework is to maybe comment below a book that you're excited for in March, a book that I mentioned that you think is definitely a me book and that you think I'm gonna love. Show me some predictions. I'm hoping that at least a few of them sound like they're gonna be for me and they're gonna be 5-star all-time favorites. That's also a goal that we tend to have every time we pick up a book, but we're gonna see how it goes. Another piece of homework that you might want to do is like the video. Consider subscribing if you're interested in joining this community. We do a lot of fun activities, not only sit down videos, but I do try to vlog a little bit. I do a lot of reading sprints if you're interested. If you're new to that, join us one time and just see what it's like. It'll be really fun for you, I'm sure. And then also your final piece of homework, all of this is optional by the way, is to check out Mel. If you do anything, just check out Mel. That would be really lovely to see that she kind of gains a few people into her own community, because as I've mentioned so many times, I send her all the praises. She's great. Thank you all for being here by the end of the video. I really do appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely March. And I also hope to see you in the next one. Bye!